Ladies and gentlemen, Sylvia Moss is about to come on and absolutely rock your world in terms of raising your frequency and transforming your life. Before we dive into that conversation, let's talk about the sponsor message. If you are an entrepreneur, an influencer, a visionary, someone who's changing the world, then you definitely want to have a conversation with me. How can I support you? Is it connecting you with one of these awesome guests like Sylvia or another amazing expert and human being who came on today's or a different marathon? Is it you are an expert and you want to get your message out in a bigger way, and you want coaching, you want guidance, you want help to do that to become your greatest possible self? Is it even if you feel like you're ready? It doesn't matter if you really feel like you're ready, but if you feel it's in your calling to get your message out in a bigger way and you want to be a guest on the 12-hour marathon, maybe that's a potential fit for you. So whatever it is, send me a message. Would love to hear from you, who you are, what you stand for, and how we can support you. And if you want to send me a message, find me on Instagram at I am Millionaire Chris, Facebook, facebook.com/th3burns, or send me an email, chris@beyourgps.com. Would love to hear from you and hear how we can support you, okay? Next up is the iTunes review of the week, and this week it's by Rach Gibster 13. Rach says, actionable tips to up-level your life. I absolutely love what Chris has done with this podcast. He brings such great energy to each episode and really leaves you with actionable tips you can implement today to make a change. So grateful to be taught by him. Rach, thank you so much for giving us that review. And if you want to give us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes store and let us know what you love, what you want to see more of, how we can empower you and uplift you to become your greatest possible self even better, what type of guests you love, and just how we can serve you even more with this show and this platform. Again, that's beyourgps.com/iTunes or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Make sure you subscribe, give us a rating and review so that we know who you are and what you want to see more of, okay? I'm going to introduce Sylvia in just a second here. Before that, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, be ready to take notes because this is the gold, people, and we're going to inspire the heck out of you and help you raise your vibration. So let's introduce Sylvia, and then we'll bring her on the screen. Sylvia Moss is an accomplished photographer, vibrational sound healer, and angelologist. Her photographs have appeared in periodicals and newspapers throughout the United States, including the New York Times and Dance Pages magazine, Angels on Earth magazine, and MoMA in Wales exhibition, A Book About Death. Her work has previously been displayed in galleries and cultural centers in New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Libertyville, Illinois. She is founder of Diamond Portals of Light Healing Vibrational Sound Healing System and maintains an active international healing and teaching practice. Also a crystal singing bowl master alchemist, she is well known for her extraordinary group and individual vibrational sound healing sessions. Sylvia is about to unveil her new sound healing events, Divine Light High Frequency Activations, the ultimate sound baths. And we are blessed to have her here with us today. Sylvia, are you ready to rock the house, Superwoman?
Yes, sir, I really am.
Woohoo! We are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Thank you for being here, Sylvia. I'm really looking forward to diving in because you have a unique perspective and view of the world, and that is pun intended with the photography that you've done and all kinds of amazing stuff. So really, thank you for being here and sharing your light in the world with our audience especially. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. My pleasure.
Awesome. Let's dive right into the theme of the day, which is how to trust your guidance, especially in those times of conflict. How do you trust your guidance? What do you do to create guidance in your life in difficult times, Sylvia?
Well, the first thing I would say is I would breathe, because usually when we are stressed or we have a challenge, we tighten up and, close in and like, oh my God, kind of thing. So the first is to breathe.
Yes.
And then the second would be to ground. Now, I know there's a lot of people that do talk about grounding, but I experienced through my clients that people don't really know how to ground.
Yeah.
And so that's really an important thing to learn, to bring your energy down to the earth. Because earth is what supports us. It's like without that, you're flying all around the place. So those would be two crucial things, because when you do those, something happens. Everything shifts. Everything quiets down. Your mind goes to a different place. And you begin to think clearly, because what happens is when we have those stressful times that you're talking about, is we go right to our head and we make up a lot of stories.
This is gold. Sylvia, I love you're so flowing in your communication. It's very, very pleasant to listen to. I know this is going to be an incredible interview with you. So thank you for sharing your perspective on how to really receive that guidance and drop back into our heart, drop into that grounding and centered and resourceful place. And let's talk about who you are and what you stand for. I mentioned it a little bit in the introduction, but just in your own words, who are you and what do you stand for? What do your clients come to you for?
Big question. Yeah, my clients come to me, other than if they have a serious illness, for peace of mind, I think. When I think about it, what's the main thing? They want peace of mind, and somebody said this to me not too long ago, and it sort of stuck. They just want to be happy. They want to be happy and have a good life. No bells and whistles. I mean, if most people could have that, they would have what you're talking about. What is it? The best possible life of all, or something?
Yeah, greatest possible self. Yep.
Exactly, because there's so much strum and drum around, and so much in our head, that we don't think that that's possible. Actually, because we don't have that experience, because our world and our culture is about, oh, this is so terrible, and the drama, the movies, the songs. I did a workshop once with someone. They were teaching it, and one of the things that she said, it was actually a relationship workshop, and one of the things she said, have you ever noticed all the songs that people sing? They're all about, oh, how he left me, and oh, how my heart is breaking. So that's what people come to me for, to get well, and to really have a good, fulfilling life.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, Sylvia. So this is gold, and I know anyone who stays tuned through this is going to figure out, how do I not stay in that suffering? How do I surround myself with more high vibration energy and practices and people like you, Sylvia? And I want to dive back into your journey and talk about, how did you get to where we are today? How did you grow and evolve and become this woman?
Oh gosh. How did I get to where I am today? Well, actually, there's a little story on my website that actually my website person put up, and it was this very old article that I had written. So it actually all started in Africa, I think. I mean, I was a grown person then, an adult. But I had a transforming experience when I was looking at an animal from very, very far away. And I just thought it was like an animal, we were having this thing, and I was madly in love with the hunter that I was with, the big story. But I realized when I got home that it was God that I was having this communication with through this animal. And it was an impala. I mean, I looked at home and I could see the outline of it. And my life changed. I became more spiritual. I was actually that's when I started doing my photography. I started taking pictures of animals in Africa. I borrowed my younger daughter's Canon camera. She lent it to me, and then later on she tried to sell it to me, but she gave it to me. And I started to learn to take pictures, but I came back with just pictures of trees. And so somebody coached me on how to take pictures. That's how it started. And because I had this deep communication with nature, and through nature with God, of course. I mean, I don't know whether a lot of listeners believe in God, but I do. I don't stand on a soapbox about it, but that is the basis of who I am. Yeah. And I started going back to church and singing. And it just all evolved from there. And from the church, I was in a healing service. And then somebody knew that I was in this healing service, and they said, you may want to study with a woman that I'm studying with, Barbara Brennan. And I went and I talked to her, and, you know, rest is history. So it was a definite evolution. But it's interesting about evolution. I've thought about this recently. You know, when we're in it, we don't know we're evolving. We're doing our life. And then when I look back, I thought, oh my God.
Yeah. Connecting the dots to
Connecting the dots, Chris, is just phenomenal. And you couldn't have planned it, you know, because and that's the thing. A lot of people, you know, say, well, what are your goals? I've never been a goal person. Oh my God. It makes my, you know, artists can't think that way. And it's just really very embarrassing sometimes. But when you don't plan goals and you're open to the flow, you meet people, and then that person tells you something, and then that person introduces you to someone else, and that's how I got on your program. Yeah. I mean, it really is miraculous when I stop to look at it. And I think if more people did stop and look at, well, who did I meet today? Who did I talk to today? What can I give that person? What did they give me? You know, it's really, it's stunning. It really is stunning. And we don't know it because we're in it.
I love it. I love it. What did you have a perspective of being in it and not so much about the zoom out view that you have now, like when you were on the journey, were you like caught up in the emotions and the chaos and stuff like that?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I was very emotional. I remember in the very, very early days of my career, I was a guidette at NBC. I think they still have them, guidettes and pages where they take people around and show them the studios. Wow. And we could use the empty studios to do any of our rehearsals in if we wanted to, because most of us were actors. And I was studying singing. And I was also dating some men, of course, naturally, in my 20s. And so I remember going into I will never forget this. I'm sitting down at this piano, and there was nobody around, and I'm practicing this song. It probably was a torch song or a blues song or something. And I'm sobbing because this guy didn't call back. But I'm trying to sing this song, and I'm going through all of these emotions, and I couldn't do my real work because I was going through all these emotions. So yes, I was not in the bigger picture. I was in the moment, you know, putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, and if you knew now and gave that information and wisdom to your younger self, what would you have told her?
Ah, great question. I would have told her to sit back, breathe, ground, and go into her heart. What does she want tomorrow or in 2 months? Not like in this moment, this passion for this guy. I can't even remember who it was. Yeah, and I wasn't into angels, but I mean, I was always fascinated by angelic art and that kind of thing. But I think I would have also told her, you know, you have a guardian angel. Just call out to that guardian angel and ask for help. Because there is an angel for each kind of job. Because actually in my book, I have little quotes for each picture. Yeah. And there's a quote, I think it's from St. Augustine, I think, that for every job or every problem or everything in life, there's an angel. And so actually in my book, there's angels of the subway. There's actual angels in a subway station. I mean, they're really great art. So there is an angel for everything.
Can you give us some more examples of common areas for angels that we might not or might ask for and ask for support and guidance from?
Yeah, to help you find something if you've lost it. That's a big one. There's also Saint Anthony or Saint Christopher, I think. They're the ones that help you find things, the saints. But there are definitely angels. The angel of protection, is a big one, is Archangel Michael. I mean, a lot of people talk to Archangel Michael. I mean, he's like, with the sword and like, I'm there for you, damsel in distress kind of thing.
Wow.
But I mean, so there's Archangel Michael. Archangel Gabriel, interestingly enough, I had a friend, I still have this friend, who channels archangels. And so when I was doing the book and doing the research, I said, I need information that's not in the books. What do you know?
Wow.
And so we had a session one afternoon, and she channeled the archangels. And she told me that Gabriel was, of course, Gabriel is a woman. Mm-hmm. That's actually documented, that Gabriel is a woman, the only woman angel. And she is the archangel of creativity. She's mainly known as the archangel of birth because of Christ in the Bible and the Christmas story. But she's also the angel of creativity. She's the angel of sacred music and art.
Wow. So
any artists or performers who are challenged, call out to Gabriel. Ask her to. She's very soft and she's very floaty and she's very. I was going to say she's very ethereal, but I mean you get that from her.
Yeah.
Michael is more power and like I'm there for you, but yep. Gabriel is this wonderful, very dance-like person. I mean, angel. Wow. You can tell they're sort of like real to me.
Yeah, no, they are. And they it's almost like just speaking about them brings them alive in your essence and being. I could see you like strengthen up when you talked about Michael and flow when you talked about Gabriel. That was awesome.
Yeah. And Raphael is the angel of healer. I mean, he's the angel of healing. So I work with, I don't use it, Raphael. I work with Raphael in my healings. And in fact, there are some very specific things. And there are teams of healing angels when I work with Raphael. Wow. That they come in and they have their jobs. So other jobs for people that, for illness, if you're ill, Raphael, definitely. If you're having surgery or if you have the flu, any even simple thing. And Raphael has a great sense of humor. There was an actual play, an off-Broadway play written about him. I think it was called Tobias and the Angel or something. It's a biblical story and they took it. But he's known to be very humorous and brings lightness to, I guess you need that, if you're healing. But definitely for that. Uriel, I find, is really great for grounding. Uriel has a female name, but he's still a male. There's actually a dictionary of angels. This would be fun for people who love to do research. There's a dictionary of angels called the Dictionary of Angels. It's a thick book like that. It's sitting on my shoulder. And they go through and they give you the names of angels and what they do. Wow. And there's an alphabet, an angelic alphabet. And there's also something that I do. It's called angelic light language. And we speak in a certain language. It sounds like, a foreign language of some sort. But what we're doing is we're bringing down the energy of this angelic realm and of other realms, of other light beings. Other light beings have light language also. A lot of people are talking about that now. And but with the angelic light language, you're bringing down the essence of these angels, and the angels are speaking through us. And brings out that transmission to the people. I do it in sessions and in some of my live events, and it's very powerful because you think that you're just doing, sounds like Italian or French, but it really is very powerful.
Yeah, well, sound is vibration, and you could also say sound is light, right? Because light is frequency, so is sound, so it's light.
Actually, there's a thing that color is the frequency of light. That certain colors are light frequency. Well, in the spectrum. And then in sound, when you make a sound, that we produce a color. So that's used in color therapy a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely the vibrations coming through. And there's been research done on it. There's been doctors, and it's documented that certain vibrations do certain things, and they've tested it. Yeah.
So cool. Well, I love this, and I want to get into the sound aspect of your work. Before that, though, I want to hear, how did taking photographs of these angels, how did that come, and how did that evolve into the healing work that you're doing today?
Well, I was actually doing the healing work before the angels.
Ah.
Yeah, but I think angels have been in my life, have been present for a very long time, and I just wasn't aware of it. I mean, I think I probably talked to them on some level, but I wasn't as aware as I am now. And so when I was photographing, I would, if I saw an angel, because it turns out that there are lots of angels in New York. And so because I was an architectural photographer, I was doing windows and arches and churches and things, and I'd see these angels, I'd photograph them. But so this friend of mine knew that I had done this because I'd photographed some angels in his church, because he was an Episcopal priest. And so he asked me one day to go take a picture of a snapshot of a church, because he was a landmarks commissioner and he needed this picture. And so on the way home, we were talking about my angel photographs, because they had been in an exhibition and wanted to know how they were going and all of that. And he said, in a very dramatic way, "Why don't you do a book on angels and call it Angels of New York?" And I let out this scream, because I'd been waiting for a message from somewhere, what book I was supposed to be doing. Wow. And I said, that's it. And so that was in 1995. And so it took me a year to sort of get my head around it. And so that I did, and I started taking the pictures. But what was fascinating to me was that as I was taking, and it didn't happen until I was like midway into photographing, that I was looking at one of these angels, and it took me a long time into the lens, because the light, it was an outdoor angel, so the light was changing constantly and the cloud would come. So I had this long period of time on this ladder that I had to keep focusing and changing the focus and waiting for the right moment. So as I'm looking through this lens, I felt so wonderful. I'm standing on a ladder. So, I wasn't worried about it at all. But I just like, when I finished, I felt like I'd been in a meditation. And I didn't think about it at the moment, or, until maybe a few days later. And then I realized, oh my God, when I'm photographing these creatures, I'm getting the essence of them. I don't know if it's coming from here or if it's coming from there. So that in itself. And so then that's the angel book. So I'm doing my healings along at the same time. I'm double threat here, doing both. And so then actually it happened maybe just a couple of months ago, that when we were working on my website, I said, we have to have a page. I drove my website people crazy. I said, we have to have a page that the angels have to give a message. And my website lady said, why? I said, I don't know. They just said, we have to have a page. And I did not know this until a couple of weeks ago, when I looked at my subtitle. I said that the angels are the gatekeepers of my healing practice. And I gave the title. The title is Diamond Portals of Light. And they are the gatekeepers of this body of work, because they are in my healing work all the time, but I don't focus on them. I mean, I'm not an angel healer. Right. I'm a healer that works with the angels, I guess one would say. Wow. Because they weave in and out. They talk to me. They come and visit. But one thing I do want to tell your audience, some people may know this and some people may not. People say, well, if angels are all around me, why aren't they helping me now? Why aren't they helping me get out of this thing? You have to ask for help. They're standing all around right now, all around all of us. They're waiting, because they're not allowed. They have rules. It's universal laws. Yep. They're not allowed to interfere in human beings' lives, because we have to work things out. But they're here to help us. So if you ever need help, just ask, because that's their job. They love it. So if anybody wants to know any more, you can ask me more questions.
It's like you're best friends with them. I love it. It's like, just ask them. They're right here. They love you.
True.
That's awesome. So you evolved from there. You were doing healing work in the beginning, and I know now it's more specific about the sound healing is the direction you want to channel your energy and let's say marketing and branding and what you want to be known for. Right. Why sound healing?
Well, has several different chapters to it. Yeah. Edgar Cayce said in 1938, sound will be the medicine of the future. And I found that when I was, I don't know when I think when I was doing my first website. And that was 1938. So this is the future of 1938. Several people have written books about sound. There have been some doctors, medical doctors, well, one in particular, and I think there are several. Yes, there's two at least I know, that use sound in their medical practice. One was an oncologist. He's since passed away. He's an oncologist. He used sound meditation. He used crystal bowls he would put them on people's bodies and play the crystal bowls. They know that sound transmutes cells. I've had the experience I had a client, it was actually in my senior year of training that we had to have a case study, and it was my case study. And it was a friend, an older woman who had I think it was ovarian cancer, I'm not sure. They went in to perform surgery on her, and they couldn't because she was riddled. She was just filled with it. And so they sewed her up immediately, and they started chemo and they did things. And so I asked her, would she be, my case study? And so long story short, I did sound on her mostly. And so I was getting guidance from my teacher, and she said, do 3 times a week, do sound treatments on her. And I was specifically on that area. And it's hard to say this, but I think it was 6 weeks later when she went back to the doctor, which was her time to go back. And they opened her up. And he was shocked. He said, there's nothing there. He said, your cells look like a baby's cells. They look brand new. Wow. So that's my personal experience. But there's been other experiences that sound does incredible things. They do say about singers that singers usually have a happier life than most people. And I'm sure that they have challenges, but just going to a Broadway show, that's acting, but still it's the vibration. The vibration shifts, right? You were saying earlier. Now, I'm not sure I answered your question. Why sound healing? So that's one reason why. Also, because I was a singer, and it comes to me naturally. And so when I was training, my teacher walked over to me one day in a practice session with 40 people in a room and said, do you sing? Now, we were close friends. I don't think I ever told her that. But of course she was getting it. She was very psychic. And I said, oh, no, I used to. She said, why don't you try it right now? I said, oh, there's too many people in this room. And she said, that's the point.
Yes.
We need the room. We need to lift the energy.
Yeah. So
that was the beginning. So I had never even thought of that. So I chant into people's bodies. I move things around. When I heal, I'm touching. In Reiki, they don't touch, they're off the body. But what I do, what I'm trained to do, is I go into the body. I move things around. It's like pottery and sewing, and it's a lot of fun. But that sounds probably weird. But I use the sound.
You enjoy it. It's your purpose. Every time you do it, you're like full of joy that you get to channel these gifts and abilities and serve people and like make a living, a beautiful, healthy, prosperous living doing it. I think that's what everyone wants. And I really acknowledge you for owning how much you enjoy it and how much fun it is. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is fun. And there are challenging times, and there's challenging things within sessions, but I do feel after sessions and after day of sessions, I do feel uplifted. I usually look better. I usually look better at the end of a healing day than I would on a normal day being on the computer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I know for me personally, when I do a 12-hour marathon, people are like, you must be exhausted after it. And there's part of me that's like physically tired, of course. Yeah. And there's also the part of me that could be sound that is, resonating and awakening me to be my greatest possible self. And I feel that aliveness coming through me. And especially when talking to people like you and your gifts and seeing you bloom and blossom and be so proud and excited about sharing your message, and like when you care about it, that's really cool. When you're talking to someone who really cares about what you're doing, that just like, it's such an amplification of the conversation. And I'm really proud of myself because I bring that to every conversation, like just totally being in wonder and awe about what people do. And I think there's that harmonic amplification of positivity and joy and purpose. And I'm jazzed. My vibration is like,
you definitely are
in the ceiling. My vibration is ceiling.
Talking to you. I mean, I think it's like it's a win-win kind of thing with people like you. Yes. Because both everybody gets lifted up.
Yeah.
So if you, not you, but everyone, all of us, when we raise our frequency, we can transform our lives. I mean, I'm beginning to see that's my theme song, because it's the banner on my website, and it just sort of fell out of my mouth. And the people, my website people who were brilliant, put it all together. But it is true, and we're supposed to have happy lives. Yeah, we're supposed to. And I think that's the one thing that that's my heart song, that if I can bring that to people, that we're not supposed to suffer. And I think that's what the angels are here to remind us. That, there's an old joke that angels can fly because they take themselves lightly. I don't know if you've ever heard that. but it's a truth. It is true. Yeah. And and another really wonderful way, if people want to get in touch with their angels or learn how to talk to angels, is to do automatic writing. Do you know about that? Do you know about automatic writing?
I've heard of it. Say more.
So what it is it's usually best at night, and have a notepad by your bed and a pen or a pencil. And you write down a question that's really challenging you. Not anything really big challenge, but start with something simple. Mm-hmm. Because you needs to come through you. And write the question down, put it aside, turn off the light, and go to sleep. Wake up the next morning and take the pen or pencil in your left hand and tune back into the angel and say, do you have something to tell me? Do you have an answer to my question? And write. You can use your right hand, but it's more intuitive to use your left hand.
That's if people are right-handed, to use the opposite hand, right?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Yes, that's good instruction. You're a good teacher. But you have to practice it. I mean, it's not going to just necessarily come right away. Right. So if you practice that, Yeah,
I think there's a awkwardness and wondering, am I doing this right? When you first try to tune into a dormant natural flow that you haven't had access to. It's like a muscle, right? But once you get used to that, then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna channel and trust that whatever comes out is exactly what was meant to come out. Yeah,
it's actually you're absolutely right. It's an issue of trust, and it's a great training for trust. Yeah.
That's good. And I know Jessica's out in the audience, and she was talking about how, when we were talking about singing, when she stopped singing and doing shows, she said her health started going downhill. Wow. So she said she's been doing a lot of thinking about that lately. So it sounds like perfect timing.
I'll tell people, I ask people, say, well, do you sing? And they'll say, oh. And I say, well, sing in the shower. Sing in the shower.
Yeah.
Where people can't hear you.
Yeah.
What
do you say to What do you say to people who say I'm a bad singer?
Oh, I cringe. First, I hate to hear people say that to themselves. Actually, no one's ever said it to me, but if they did, I would say that that's a belief.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a judgment, right? It's a judgment on their whatever comes out, and like feeling like that it's unworthy. And it's like, come on, whatever you got, whatever your vocals create is perfect.
It usually comes from if they've had a parent who was a great singer or something like that, or somebody, that they can't match up, and so they've always thought, well. And then when they start, if you sing with other people, like karaoke is a great thing to get over that.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun, but yeah, it is a belief. Yeah. Not everybody's going to have the most beautiful, voice in the world, but I think everybody can sing on some level.
Yes.
Back to the heart again.
Yeah, and it's I when I think of singing and I think of someone saying I'm a bad singer, I think of, well, can you say, oh, can you do that? Then you're a singer.
Exactly. Right.
It's these tones, like you said, it's the vibration, and that literally can transmute our cells. So one way people can really transform their life with sound is by working with you, Sylvia. And I know we're going to tell people how they can do that, how they can get a hold of you, definitely at the end of this interview. And is there any other recommendations in terms of practices that people can be doing to start transforming their life through sound, or some other ways that you love to raise people's vibrations?
Dance, movement. I mean, because our bodies are so tight, and not just exercise. Yeah, exercise is very important. I mean, we have to to work on certain muscles, but the movement, the Isadora Duncan kind of free form movement to express yourself. There's a wonderful class that's all around the United States called NIA. I mean, I don't know where the different locations are, but they have different. I think they have different forms of dance, and it's self-expression kind of dance. But that's really a great way. Working. Let's see, what other ways? Oh, we forgot this one. Oh my goodness, the crystal singing bowls. The crystal singing bowls are a great. Oh my God. It's like talking to an angel, because that vibe. Have you ever heard a crystal singing bowl?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because that vibration. I mean, you don't have to be a singer. The people who don't think they can sing, get a crystal bowl, because that'll solve all the problems. The frequency of those bowls is so uplifting and so empowering. I haven't noticed it recently because I haven't thought about it, but there was about 2 years ago, I was playing the bowls every day, like, for 15 minutes before I would go off to do sessions and things to my office. And I noticed people were smiling at me on the street. I live in New York City. Not many people smile at you on the street. Everybody's walking around. But actually, more and more people are smiling now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they are. But I really began to notice physically people were walking by smiling at me. And I thought, what am I doing different? And I thought, oh my God, my aura must be out.
Wow.
Expanding. Yeah. Out in a good way. And so that is what the crystal bowls do. And the big secret about crystal bowls, specifically alchemy crystal bowls, which is what I play. Alchemy crystal bowls are the ones that are made with gemstones, and they're different colors. They're not just white. They're crystal plus rubies or emeralds or platinum. And they carry the frequency of that healing stone, and then they carry the frequency of the crystal. So you're getting this alchemy that gets mixed. So it's like, ugh.
Yes.
But they have the frequency of the angels.
Wow.
The man who makes them told me that when we were talking about angels in conversation. So that frequency is so healing. You don't really have to do anything else. Just play the crystal bowls. And that's what I do in events. I mean, my sound bath events are crystal bowls, prayer, meditation, and guided meditation journeys. So where we specifically address certain problems with the people in the audience. And I do have other musicians that come in and play with me. The flute and crystal singing bowls are just, you're in heaven, total heaven. and people lie down, and they go, they go other places, and they are transformed.
Wow.
I mean, I'm transformed from those events.
Tell us more about that, the transformation. Like, what does that really mean in terms of raising your vibe and the healing? What does that mean?
That's a great question. What it means, let me go to that place. It means that you're living from your higher self. I never thought of that. It's the first time I ever said that. Thank you. I have to write that down afterwards. You're living from your higher self. Because when you're transforming, it's not throwing out your life and saying, oh, that was a terrible life. It's not. You're taking all of that you've learned and you've gleaned, that's helped you grow, and you go to the next level. So, because life is evolution, which we talked about before. So you're evolving, but when you transform, it means that you're shifting beliefs that don't work for you anymore, that you're shifting your past, because that's what you're supposed to do. When we study and go to university, we're supposed to get more educated. So on this level, we're supposed to grow and become, I don't want to say better human beings, but fuller. Our life's purpose, as we said earlier, we're not meant to be suffering. So it's really about you're transforming into who you were created to be. That's where we go when we transform, because we don't have the baggage. We're healing the baggage. You don't even anymore, because we're in an ascension. The earth is in an ascension.
Yes.
And they say that the earth has already gone to its place. It's the human beings now that are catching up. And so that's actually what's happening, that we've ascended. And if you're tuned in to that energy, you're there. You don't have to work.
Right.
You don't have to work to get there.
You just be it.
You be it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it sounds cliche, but when we do transform, and that's the process. I mean, you're never going to be Gandhi in a moment, kind of thing. But it's all a process.
Yeah.
But you can have you will, I should say. You will have an awesome life, like you're talking about, and like I'm assuming that you have an awesome life. The way that you were describing things. So we don't have to stay stuck. And people say, well, I can't stop being angry at my ex-husband. I still want to kill him. And I'm sorry, we have to let go of it. We just have to let go of it.
Yeah, and we had Jessica in the audience who said, do you feel like there's a huge difference between the metal singing bowls and the crystal ones?
Yes. And the difference is, and I didn't know, but my crystal ball mentors told me, and neither one is good or bad. The metal are masculine energy, and the crystal bowls are the feminine energy. And actually, when they're played together, they're beautiful because it's a balance.
Wow. And also what I think of is the metal is dense matter, which probably is why the masculine, and then the crystal is light, is spaciousness, crystalline structure that allows light through, which is a better conductor of light and feminine flow.
Exactly. And I think because there are certain people that play certain bowls and certain people that play other bowls. And I think that those people, that they're meant to play those. I mean, I don't think that my friend who plays it, she does these huge sound baths with metal bowls. And I have this friend who has antique metal bowls. And I don't think that's their tool.
Yeah.
That's who they are. Yeah. So, and when they're played together, they're just, because I had my friend do a couple of sound baths with me with the metal bowls, and it was exquisite.
That's awesome. Jessica said, oh my gosh, I'm going to be broke now. Haha. Crystal bowls, here I come.
Yes. Tell her to go to my website. Well, we'll tell her later. Is she in New York, or ask her what city she lives in?
Where are you at, Jessica? It might take her a minute to get back to us, but she'll respond.
I am going to start doing, on June 21st, June 21st, I'm going to start doing, I hope, if I get the microphones and everything, an online sound bath.
Ooh.
So, yeah, they'll be live and they'll be simultaneous kind of thing. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, crystal bowls, even if you get one crystal bowl, and even if a person gets just the classic crystal bowl, which is heavier, they're a little bit more, there's a different way to play them. But it's still getting that frequency and getting that expansion, because it's all about expansion. And that was another thing that you said about tools. If you could breathe, if a person can, they breathe, ground, go into their heart, and then imagine that in the center of your body is the column of light, which it is there, and just tune into that column of light. And if you're not a visual person and you can't see it, just intend. Go to that light. It's right behind your heart, between your heart and your spinal column, right in the center of you. Just expand that light and have that light just go throughout your body. It's in a column. And just goes through the base of your body, through your torso, up through your head, through your crown. Once it goes through your body, then allow it to expand out towards your skin. And just like you're blowing up a balloon, it just sort of expands out and out and just goes through your skin and past your skin if you want, to wherever you're comfortable. Just like breathing larger, deeper breaths and just expanding this light out. And then you can sit in that light. And that's actually the place to start when you're meditating. But you have to ground first. Grounding is crucial. Because a lot of people, we were all taught to meditate, you just go up. But if you go up, then you just stay there and you don't bring it in.
Wow.
I had to learn that, yeah.
And is that as simple as, I've heard, to shoot a cord down to like the center of the earth, so to speak, and like breathe?
Yeah. I do it as an elevator. I do it as like to see your. I know I do it as I say, open your bottoms of your feet as an elevator, and then grow either your arch bone or roots, just like a tree. Yeah. You're a tree, and grow your roots through your feet, down through the building that you're in through the foundation of the building, down through the rocks. I'm in New York City, so into the rocks, and then into the sandy part, and then into the fire of the earth, and then down into the. So it's just a more gradual. Yeah. I'm a woman, so I'm not shooting down. So.
Yeah, well, it's deeper. It's deeper, and like the deeper you can imagine and visualize and feel that connection, the more grounded you are.
Yeah, and actually, in the center of the earth, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people do this now, but in the center of the earth, there's a giant crystal. That actually came from my teacher, Barbara Brennan. Wow. She said, there's a giant crystal in the center of the earth. And so that's what I always have people go to. Wow. And you can just sit and I have it like a lake. You can dangle your feet in this, and then you drink up that energy from the center of the earth. Wow. And you bring it up into your body. And so you have that earth energy, and then you bring down the heavenly energy, and then you have this commingling, and it's just, heaven on earth.
I love it. Sylvia, what was that?
Within you, heaven on earth within you.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people don't yet realize. And I'm excited for everyone to recognize is that heaven is not somewhere off in the future or above. It is here and now. And how do we create that? How do we experience that in the here and now?
Yeah. And we can, because it's for us to do. I mean, it's not somebody else.
I love it. This is gold, Sylvia. And we had Jessica who said she's down in Alabama, so she's definitely looking for a reason to come up, probably one of your live events. And she said, complete chills and tears. Thank you, Sylvia. I look forward to connecting with you. So that is awesome. I think you both are.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I want to tell Jessica, the woman that channeled the archangels for me, her name's Jessica.
Ooh.
So there's a connection here. Yeah, yeah.
I love it. This is gold. So, yeah, definitely you two connect. She's a healer as well, so some really
Oh,
cool
lovely,
cool
lovely.
stuff is going to be happening. And Sylvia, let's begin to wrap it up with what you want our audience to really get and know and understand about light, about raising their vibration, about healing, sound. We cover a lot of different really great
Yeah.
epic areas. And what else do you want them to know?
Well, want them to know they can go buy my book on
Yes.
Amazon.
Yes.
And they can start working with angels through that.
Yes.
That to do those exercises that I just did. I wasn't planning on that. I just came. You're great because you just brought it out of me. To do that, and to know that if you raise your frequency, you can transform your life. And if they go to my website, they can read all about that. They can see about my events. They can see what crystal bowls look like. And the can I say the name of the website now?
Absolutely, please.
Okay. So it's sylviamoss.com. And we've got stuff about the angels there. The angel message is there. They can read what the angels say. What else do I want to show? Oh, at the bottom of the page, the home page, but actually on every page, I think. The bottom of the home page, scroll all the way down to a beautiful pink bar. And it's get a free gift. And the free gift is a meditation to ground and raise your frequency. Awesome. Hello. Awesome. I almost forgot about it. So that's something. And you give me your name and your email. And if you don't want me to send you my event stuff, just tell me that, and I won't. But do get the meditation because it's very beautiful. It has music that my daughter composed, so it's very nice. Then in the fall, around October, we're keeping our fingers crossed, the angel cards will be coming out.
Yes.
It's a deck of cards called The Angels Speak. And maybe in a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, I'm going to start doing an online healing course. And I'll be using some of the prototypes of the angel card. And so they're channeled messages from the angels. And they are like divination cards, wisdom cards, but they're for healing.
And what inspired you to create the cards?
I'd seen a lot of tarot cards and wisdom cards. And a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, but a mentor that I was working with, she sent out this email that one of her friends was doing a card deck class, how to make your own card deck. And I'd always been fascinated by, how can I make a card deck? I wonder if I should do the angels, because a lot of the healers are starting to do that with the chakras. And so I took this course and I learned so much in it. And that's how and I'll give her a plug. The woman's name is Marcy Garrison. It's called the Card Deck Masterclass. Okay. So look her up. Wow. So she's a great teacher. So, and it's a great tool. Because they're hands-on, and you can learn to talk to the angels, and they can be really your close. Because the book is not life-size, but it's a little bit larger. But these angels, you can put the angel by your bedside, carry in your pocket. So they're going to be a lot of fun to use, and they're beautiful. Oh my God, they're not just angels from the book. There's angels from Rome. Over half of them are from Rome. One from Russia. And one from Italy.
Oh my gosh. Incredible. Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, they're really beautiful. And I think so my website, and on my website you can contact me. Okay. But also if you want to ask me any questions, my email address is Sylvia, Sylvia, at Sylvia Moss, and that's MOSS.com. And I look forward to speaking to you and helping you and answering any questions that you would like, because I love talking to people.
Sylvia, you are just such a bright light.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here and sharing your heart and your love. And I know you and Jessica are going to create some magic together, so I'm excited to see that relationship blossom. And anyone else who's tuning in right now, if you love this interview, make sure you take a screenshot and tag me at I am Millionaire Chris on Instagram, or find me on Facebook and tag me there, and then I'll make sure we get it over to Sylvia to let her know that you loved the episode and love what you heard. And this has been incredible. And Sylvia, thank you for enlightening and raising the vibration of us. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. It's been such fun to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you soon, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye. Good luck.